What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video. We're going to be checking out the Acus C2 today, guys. I've finally used it enough to formulate an opinion. We're going to check that out today. Appreciate the patience, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and share this with a friend if you can. That being said, let's get right into the video. All right, you guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the Captain Ron's Ink Experience. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Acus C2. Now, the Acus C2 is Acus's budget option of their tattoo machines. I believe this one retails at $380. There's a lot of genius to its simplicity. I don't remember what the saying is, and this is a great example of that. Nothing fancy, just a reliable brushless motor and a 4.1 stroke, extremely well made and very versatile. Of course, you know, these are Acus's cams, an actual cam, nice little slug on there. This is the 4.1 that it comes with. It's a great all-arounder. Warning, do not get these wet because they will begin to rust a little bit. And right back here, I got a little wet, started to rust. So incredibly versatile, easy to clean, and just a great all-around tattoo machine. Nothing special or over-complex, no lights, or just a hard-hitting machine that is capable of doing anything right out of the box. Great packer, great liner. I've did a little bit little shading with it. I prefer a softer hitting machine when I shade. This is how I prefer to shade. It is very capable of shading. If you know what you're doing with your execution, you know how to execute your tattoos perfectly, there's no reason why you can't turn this into a great shader. It does shade well. It does line great as well. This has been my go-to liner, you know, 3s, 5s, 7s. It's like a laser. When you're doing 9s or 11s, you just gotta kind of push a little bit harder and it will sync it for you. I prefer to push a little harder and slow down a little bit versus turn the machine up. And speaking of speed, it did take me a little while to kind of find the perfect speed. It does sound slow, you know, at around 7.2, 7.3. It sounds slow. It has that chip, I believe it's a part of the controller chip, to where when you apply more pressure to the machine, it actually pushes back. You apply more pressure, the machine uses more torque to match the pressure you apply to this thing. And that's what makes this thing really great, that controller chip in there. The downside about the controller chip, it does make it a little power hungry. This thing will chew through a critical shorty very fast if you turn the volts up, surprisingly fast. So just a heads up, guys. But that's not specific to this machine, that's just any motor that has that controller chip in it that helps push more torque when you apply more pressure to it. So that's just a side effect of that. Comes with 2 grips. This is the heavy grip. Comes with a small grip as well. This little narrow guy. I do prefer the heavier grip. It alleviates any extra pressure you have to apply to it. It's always nice when you can just use the weight of your machine and just a little bit of pressure to help sink your liners versus, you know, just a small grip would be good for really fine liners like 3s, 1003s, 1203s, 1 liners. That way you can be just a little bit more delicate with it. Really small, really easy to clean. I had someone ask me about this little pocket right here and how difficult that would be to clean. That's, you know, not very difficult at all. You just take a Q-tip or the corner of your towel and you just kind of wipe in there. Yeah, so far so good. Really fun to use. It's really 0 complaints with it. I would love to do individual cam reviews if I could, but that's just not in the books for me at the moment. But, you know, if Acus wanted to send a cam for me to test, I would absolutely love to do that for Acus. They are one of the GOATs. But yeah, great all-arounder. I mean, this 4.1 stroke is just perfect. 3, 5, 7s, 9, and you can really sync it. You can sync at 11 if you want to. I'm sure people could, but I found using 3, 5s, and 7s and 9s for this thing is just perfect. That 4.1 stroke really nails it. Packing with big mags, not difficult at all. Like I said, it has that controller chip where it just helps push forward. And just really effective tattoo machine. I want to say I put about 60, maybe 70 hours on this thing. Really great, really fun to use. Like I said, the beauty is in its simplicity. But when you take this thing over like 7.5 volts, that's when it starts to get a little power hungry and it will chew up your batteries real quick. I suggest getting a larger battery versus a critical shorty. I mean, having a small milliamp battery is just not going to last you very long if you're sitting down for a long session. Yeah, very simple, effective, just a great machine. But this being my first Acus product, I am really pleased with its performance, its effectiveness. Let's do the mag first here, that way you guys can get a listen for it. There is 6.6. Around, you know, 7.0, 7.5. It does sound very slow. And I prefer to have my machines run a little bit faster at higher volts. There's a reason for that, and that is because of the controller chip that's in there. When you apply more pressure, the motor applies more torque. Feels very similar to the T21, which has the Fall Harbor brushless motor. The Dark Lord told me he works very closely with Acus. This motor in here is comparable to a Fall Harbor brushless. It's just not the Fall Harbor brand. But yeah, running it on my palm like this, it feels direct, but also indirect. You can tell there's something happening when you apply pressure to it. It almost feels like it has give, almost. That feeling it gives on your hand, it feels very gibby, but I know it's not. But that's the closest thing I can compare it to, is that feeling of like a give or like a bounce back, or it having like a rubber nib in there on the tip. Yeah, very strong, very consistent. I've had zero like power fluctuations or zero like WTF moments. And it's nice to have 100% confidence in your tattoo machine. This is a well-made, well-engineered machine. You can tell it was step-by-step process is there. You can feel that it's got a lot of love and care into its design and build. It wasn't just a last thought hack job to try to get a little bit more cash in their pockets. This is the exact opposite of that, actually. You can tell it was well made, well engineered, and very well thought out step by step, and I can appreciate the heck out of that. Focus. Yeah, I found around 7.6, 7.7 was my most effective like lining bolt if I wanted to line at my normal hand speed. Try to get a zoom in for you guys here. Very nice, very consistent, no weird power fluctuations. Just a great, consistent, well-made product that I'm sure you guys would appreciate. I appreciate it very much. It's just nice having that knowledge of the comfort that this thing is. It's nice having that piece of comfort in the back of your mind that you know this machine isn't going to give you any problems or give you any static. It's just going to perform just as well as it did the first time you used it. Go up to 8.2 now. But yeah, like I said, if you're going to be using big rounds, big shaders, you might want to go for the 4.5 stroke. I believe that will just make it a little bit easier for you. Yeah, very consistent, very strong. I would be interested to try the 4.5 stroke just because I feel like that would even make using the 7s, 5s, and 3s even more easy to use. Yeah, this thing is just great right out of the box. Very simple, very elegant. And I personally do believe that it was worth every penny. I bought this thing outright, and I'm glad I did. So a lot of the times I get buyer's remorse. Like when I bought the T21, I was so excited for it, and then after using it, I just, that battery consumption and it having a proprietary battery is just, not very well thought out. But yeah, guys, lots of fun to use. I've been using a lot more round shaders lately. A lot easier to shade with them, especially in really small pockets. And I had someone in the comment section. I was speaking to a subscriber, and he asked whether he should buy this one or the M1. My opinion to him, or my suggestion to him was, if you have your technique nailed down and you're looking for a machine to fine-tune that technique even more, I would suggest the M1. But if you're still developing technique, I would suggest the C2. Another person chimed in with a great comment as well, and that is if you're tattooing every day and you need the Swiss Army knife of tattoo machines to get the M1, and if you're just tattooing a few days a week, then the C2 would be the better option, and that's very well said. So if you're watching this, dude, I do appreciate that comment, and I appreciate the suggestion to that person, because it was very well said. So, but yeah, guys, Acus C2, definitely check it out. Great torquey motor, very well developed. A little power hungry, but as long as you have a couple batteries on standby, you'll be fine. Yeah, as far as like suggestions go, I don't really have any improvements, not that I could think of. One thing I did think of is possibly the RCA perfectly flush. That way it can stand up on its top better, like this. Now, because sometimes I like to turn it up like this. I can get my sanitizer in there well, and it can actually dry. Another thing I was thinking of as well, this is more of a customization option or suggestion or opinion, but couldn't quite figure out what this little brass or what this little ring in there was for. I'm sure it has some sort of purpose, but it made me think, well, what if you could add a couple more rings in there or take less out, and then that way you can add more forward weight to your tattoo machine. I thought that would be a great idea. And since Acus is known for their customization options, I think that would be another great option they could add. Or you can buy additional weights to put in the front of your tattoo machine to add more forward weight. I thought that would be awesome. And more forward weight, it means less pressure you have to apply, and that equals, less strain on the wrist or hand or elbow. Yeah, guys, that's about all I got. A great machine. Definitely check it out. Big shout out to Acus for just executing this well-crafted, simple but effective machine. They really just knocked it out of the park with this little guy. Okay guys, one thing I did forget to mention in the video is that this machine provides great audio feedback. Like for example, when you're sinking your liner and you're getting to your correct depth, your cartridge will start to make that noise, and this machine is just great at that. But that's going to do it, guys. Once again, I appreciate the patience, and I appreciate you guys watching very, very much. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe if you're new, share it with a friend if you can, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.